Hey there folks, Tip here, Stupid Gardener. Compost Happens, part 19 coming up. Stay tuned. Okay folks, so we have 28 bags of leaves and some greens. So we got some good carbon along with some nitrogen, and we have got to get these into some compost bins. The compost bins that I have here from my pallets are full, and so I'm gonna need extra bins. So instead of adding on to the existing bins I have 3 new compost bins that I am going to use and experiment with. I have one here and I have 2 more on order. So stay tuned and we will go over the first compost bin that I have. Okay, the first compost bin that we're going to use is this Fiskars Compost bin. I've had this compost bin probably about 6-7 years. Used it for a year, really didn't like it because it was taking a long time to decompose. And so that's when I went and started using the pallet system for my compost bins, which I thought worked a lot better. Now, this is made by Fiskars. If you're a gardener, you're familiar with this name. They do a lot of garden tools. I have a couple of their pruning shears. They create a great product. But we're going to give this another try because we have 28 bags of compost that we have got to start breaking down and getting ready for the springtime. Now this bin here, it's 27 inches in diameter and it's about 28 inches tall. It's got this mesh around the side of it, so it will allow good airflow. The one good thing about this, it's on the ground. It's got these little fasteners on the bottom here that I can stick a little spike through to hold it into the ground so nothing will knock it over. And it's got a good cover on top. And so we're going to fill this with some of our leaves and grass clippings that we got last week. And we will see what happens with this. Okay, so filling this compost bin, I'm really going to have to layer it. Now we have our greens and our carbons here, but there's more carbons than greens here. So, and the greens or the nitrogen is what is really going to heat up. So I'm going to have to really layer this in here correctly just to get it charged up and get it going. So the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in a layering system. It's called the lasagna effect in your compost bin. This is how I try and start all my compost. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it on the bottom with this pumpkin here my wife had out front. I got it all chopped up. And I'm going to put this on the bottom, and this will really get all those worms and those microorganisms that are in the ground up into this compost. And that's a good thing about having this on the ground, is that the worms and all the bugs and everything are going to come up and start feeding on these greens, get up here, they'll feed on the leaves and everything and start breaking this thing down. And another way I'm going to layer it also is that I have this manure here. I had an extra bag left over when I was building my garden beds, and I'm going to layer it with this. This is considered a green, and this will really get the heat up and really get our compost going. And also I'm going to make sure I do my due diligence of getting in all our kitchen scraps in here. I got some nice banana peels in here, some apple peels, as well as some coffee grounds, and I'm gonna really concentrate on putting a lot of kitchen scraps in here because those are mainly greens, and this will charge that up and get that heat up. Remember, with the compost pile, we want a temperature 135 degrees and above to really get this thing working. And we had some cold weather this past week, but it's going to be in the 60s today, and the weather's going to start getting a little bit warmer this week, so I can really get this thing going. Another good thing about this Fiskars compost bin is that it's movable. When I want to turn this, all I got to do is take out those little stakes that I have holding it down, lift this thing up, and I can move this to here and then dump everything on top so I can really get this thing turning and working. So that's the main thing that we want to work on with this Fiskars compost bin. And like I said, when I used this before, really wasn't breaking down, but I really wasn't probably putting in enough greens, and I really wasn't working it like I should. So this one's movable. I can move it all around the yard, keep it in the sun, get that the sun on there, and get that heat up. And like I said, I have 2 more compost bins on the way. I have one that is a tumbler that is it's going to be off the ground, and it spins, so we can put stuff in there and just keep spinning it and keep turning it. And then I have another large black one, and I think it's made out of polypro. It's just going to sit on the ground, and it's totally enclosed, so we'll see what kind of heat we get off of that. And it'll be good to compare them all, you know, the Fiskars and the tumbler and the other black one I'm going to have sitting on the ground, and my 2 compost bins back there, to see which one works faster, because we're gonna need a lot of compost for the springtime, and so I want everything to work on breaking down over the winter, and we'll see what we have in the spring. And I will be coming back and checking this and turning it. We'll be checking the temperature and just seeing the different things that we need to do to get this thing moving. So now, they always say when you're starting a compost pile with browns and greens, you want a 2-to-1 ratio, and that's very hard to do. You know, it seems in the summertime you just have all nitrogens and greens. In the wintertime, you just have all browns. The good thing about this, I have browns and greens in here mixed together. A lot more browns and greens, and it's pretty well mulched. Small surface for the breakdown process, so hopefully this will break down a lot quicker than it did when I used it 6-7 years ago. Also, like I said, I have 28 bags, so I'll be able to keep filling this as it comes down. I'll be able to use these bags and top off the 2 compost bins that I have back there that I've been using for years. And so we should have a good amount of compost, fingers crossed, for the springtime going into the summer. And then hopefully I can keep using these as I go and collect more greens and browns down at my son's house, as well as around here. So let's work on getting this thing all filled up, and we'll take a look at it, and I'll show you how I'm doing the lasagna effect on here. Okay, we got our first layer in here, and as you can see, I dumped some leaves with that carbon, and as well as those grass clippings or the nitrogen. And I'm putting in the pumpkins. I chopped them up kind of small, and I am layering in the manure that I have, and we will work on filling this all the way to the top, and I'll show you what it looks like when I have it all completed. Okay, we got it all filled up here, and we're going to mark our temperature, our starting temperature, at 60 degrees, and we'll see how much it comes up from that 60 degrees over the next week or so. And like I said, we did that lasagna effect. We got the pumpkins in there all chopped up, got them layered up. We've got the manure all layered up. I put some kitchen scraps right in the middle there, and I had some rainwater that I collected in the yard here, so I dumped that on there. So we will check in on this again next week, and we'll see how we're doing on this. And I guess I will sign off from here. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you're not a subscriber, stop right now and subscribe so you can keep track of these compost bins. And if you have used this Fiskars compost bin, I'd love to hear what your results were and which worked better for you. And so I guess I will see you on the next one. This is Tip from the Stupid Gardener. Everyone take care. God bless everybody.